All right. Norman, thank you for giving me a
Hello.
chance to record this conversation. Because I do
Sure.
think that your situation is very, very unique to a lot of my clients who come to me and they want to lose weight, they want to get rid of their belly, it's all very weight oriented. Whereas when you came to me, that wasn't what you came to me at all for. So just explain to people as much as you want to, as much as you feel comfortable with.
Okay.
What was your situation? Where were you before you started working with me?
Okay. So first of all, thank you for doing this, and I'm happy to share my story with everybody. Um, so when I met you, I was in a really bad place in terms of having gastrointestinal issues. I've been diagnosed with SIBO, which is a small intestine uh, bacteria overgrowth, and this causes IBS, which is irritable bowel syndrome, dash C as in Kathy, but this time C is for constipation. And this also generate another issue in my colon, which was the diverticulosis, which are like small packets with source of foods stick there, and then they develop an infection and it's really bad. So I was dealing with gastrointestinal issues for, I can say, forever. And the last maybe 10 years became more prominent. And every time that I went for a test or any procedure or something that needs to be done, nothing seems to work. I was trying different diets, different approaches, medication, antibiotics, and everything. And I always went back to square one, which was, bloatiness, gas, constipation, a lot of pain, discomfort. And I couldn't, I went to the point that I couldn't eat anything because every time that I even ingest water, a weird focus pain in my stomach was coming, and then the bloatiness, and then the gas, and all of that. It was really difficult. So my gastrointestinal doctor recommended me to go to people specialized in nutrition or people who works in the field. And unfortunately, when I approached to these people, the only way or the only thing that they did or tried to do was, I heard that you have this problem, so here, this is a Eumenio. You have to eat this from now on, and you're gonna be fine. And that's it. And even though I give it a try, to different things and go for this diet, go for this other diet, always maybe a week or two, I feel something better, but then bam, went back to square one. So I was tired, I was frustrated, and I was like, okay, this is not working for me. This is not good for me. And my doctor also was saying that, it's difficult to see, to know, to do something about it because it's really complex situation. So that's when I, uh, find you on Facebook, and then, trying to explore new venues and see how that goes.
Yeah, it's
But
funny
that's
because
where I was.
very complex situation and very, very unusual. I mean, there are quite a few of my clients who have IBS, and I always explain to them that IBS is an umbrella term for, I don't know what's wrong with you, but here's a menu, just follow this because this is the only thing I've got. And it does drive me a little bit insane because the healthcare professionals, they don't have the time to be able to work with you on a daily basis like I do with my clients, to monitor, to track, to consistently tweak and improve and change, because that is really what's required for something as complicated and unknown as IBS or IBS-c as you've got. So you obviously went to your doctor, and when you went to your doctor, you were before we started working together, you were on a really heavy dose of antibiotics. So how did you get to that?
Yes, so it's because I went to the point that the constipation was worse and the pain and the colon spasms was more pronounced and prominent and pretty much happens every day. So it was like I cannot eat anything because everything is gonna give me a problem and I don't know what's going on. And you're right, and the doctor said, well, I don't know what's going on, but let's try. And I feel like, okay, I tried a lot of stuff and I went, as I mentioned, to people experts in nutrition or dietitians and nothing seems to work. So I was like, okay, I need to do something about it. And that's when I find you for a little while. I follow you. I see the recommendations that you gave, and I see some people, and I see the pictures that you post, and I see the recipes that you gave, and all of that. And I feel like, okay, maybe it's time. I want to contact him and see what's the deal. And definitely when I contact you, I felt that we had a good connection, and I feel that I had a good service because you were above and beyond of what I was expecting. My experience was, okay, you have this problem, take this menu, good luck. Call me if you need anything else. But with you I like the way that you had a more comprehensive and holistic approach. You ask, for example, which other medical conditions I have, or if I have some stressors in my life, what kind of work I do, who I live with, and all of that, that I never been, question, or I never had these type of questions before. And it makes sense because it's not only your medical condition, but let's see what else is happening around you to find, a balance or something like that. So I see it that way, and that's what I liked, and I really enjoy that part, that moment. And it was definitely the key for me to, okay, I think this is gonna be good. And I'm not happy that this happened because when I met you, I was eating only rice, quinoa, tuna, and eggs. That was the only thing that my stomach was able to tolerate, but that's about it. And I was thinking that maybe this is going to be forever, or maybe this is going to be, going to turn something better. So that's why I approached to you. That's why I'm happy that we were able to work together. And from there, I can eat now, anything and without any problem. And I think I like the fact that we were able to be in communication, constant communication. I like the fact that, we can elaborate a plan. And I like also that you see that not everybody is the same. Not one recipe or prescription works for everybody. And that's the thing, and I was very disappointed with all the providers and people that I found before, because nobody was able to help me, and just I was seeing as somebody else, or one more person who has these issues, and let's help them to fix them. I don't think that they were some bad intentions. It's just like their minds are set in that way. So I'm glad that you had the time, the experience, and gave me the opportunity to, be in constant communication with you and say, okay, let's start adding new food or new ingredients to your meals and see how that goes. Let's take a picture of what you're eating so we can refer to that back if something comes up. If my symptoms return, I know, okay, what I ate yesterday or 2 days before, maybe carrots, maybe lentils, maybe the chicken, maybe it was too much rice, all of those things. That was amazing process, going from there to now. It's like, as I mentioned to you before, it's like going from the black and white cinema to the digital version that we are seeing now in theaters. So, and I like to see that. And what I appreciate the most is my reconnection and rebuild my relationship with food, because sometimes, we tend to just do the same thing. We develop a habit sometimes that is not the most helpful or useful for us. And what I like about working with you was develop the better eating habits, uh, rediscover the flavors of vegetables, and add colors to my plates, and find a balance and the proportions of the dishes, because there are so many components that we bring to the table. For example, I was born and raised in Peru, and as every Latin family, we enjoy meals. We like to be in the kitchen with the grandma and everybody, and we ate like, to the point that we cannot move, and we feel that that is correct, and we adopt that behavior, and we move in the world with that and thinking that that's the way to eat. So now I don't need to build a mountain of rice or beef in my plate to feel satisfied, and I can taste different flavors other than just rice and meat. So that's the thing that I appreciate the most, that my relationship with food is totally different now. I enjoy prepare meal for myself. I used to be the kind of person that skip meals because I was busy, and I just grab a cookie or a brownie or a little bit of ice cream or a gallon of caramel macchiato coffee, to survive the day. But it's because I didn't have any substantial breakfast or no substantial meal that can hold me, to my next meal. And that's the thing. So I believe that I was craving for sugars and all that stuff because I was not nourishing myself well. And now I don't feel the need to go for it, because I have the chance to make my breakfast, to make an omelette or just have a couple of hard-boiled eggs. And I don't feel like I need to, munch some cookies or brownies, because I feel that I'm satisfied with what I'm eating. So, yeah.
And it's something that a lot of my other clients have talked about, that they come to me with worries about craving sugar or carbs or cookies or chips or whatever it is. And I never tell them not to eat that stuff. But what I do tell them to do is, well, if we can just nail your breakfast, get that right, nail your lunch, get that right, and nail your evening meal. It doesn't even have to be 3 meals, that's something that we're used to, but it doesn't have to be that either. But if we can get your main meals nutritionally right, you suddenly don't have those cravings, those hunger pangs for cookies, for carbs, for sweet things, for treats, for this, that, and the other. They just fade away. You still have them occasionally, and you still enjoy them, but you don't have that sense that you have to have a cookie right now anymore. It really does fade away. Is that something that you've found?
Yes, definitely. That's something that happened with me. I mean, I never thought that I'm gonna be okay without having a cookie or a brownie for, I don't know how many weeks that I haven't eaten any cookie or brownie. And it's not because I deprive myself and I say, no, this is poison. No, it's just because now I'm having a good breakfast or a good lunch. I don't feel that I need to eat something in between to my next meal, because I'm very satisfied with what I'm eating. And yes, I can have a little piece of candy, a little piece of chocolate here and then, but it's not something that is going to replace my meals. And that's the problem. That's what happened with me. This, cravings happens because we used to do these things. We replace meals with a piece of candy, a piece of chocolate, ice cream or brownie or this and that. But when we start eating better, um, in my case work this well, I don't feel the need or the craving of having any sweet.
Mm.
Yeah.
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 And so although we have focused pretty much on your digestion and the way that your digestive tract and system is working, and improving your transit time, which has also been quite interesting. And it's something that I do warn my clients about, is that because we talk about things that we eat, I'm occasionally going to have to talk about what comes out the other end occasionally. But so we did have an interesting conversation about beetroot at one point. But for you, because it wasn't about weight, we've never really focused very much on weight. But as we were talking earlier, you have mentioned your body shape is changing. You are starting to notice things about your body and the way that your clothes fit. So what have you really noticed that has stood out to you recently?
Yes, you're right. I mean, my focus was to just be able to eat something that is not going to give me any problem. And we went from that restricted, meals to now I can eat everything because I was reintroducing everything little by little. So now I don't have any issues. I don't need to take any medication. And that's really good. And my focus was never to lose weight, even though I gained more weight. I mean, with COVID, everybody did. We were just stay home, and I used to work out and be more active than, because I feel that I need to go to a gym and I feel motivated that way. I was not able to do it at home because I feel that even though I have stuff to do at home, I didn't feel that I, wanted to do it. So I just kind of start getting weight, and all of a sudden when we start working together, I start losing weight. Not much, but what I notice is my body start changing. Clothes that I was not able to wear, I'm able to wear them before, and they feel better, especially the pants. Sometimes you cannot, I was not able to put it together. So I just, okay, toss them out and I just grab a sweatpants. It's easy, it's comfortable. But also in the morning after shower, I start drying myself out, and I notice now that there's some definition, at the rounded part in my shoulder, the little here in my triceps. So it feels like a little by little things start to getting, in shape altogether. But that was never my goal. Even though you gave me a good set of exercises, because I start going back to give movement to my body. But my goal never was to lose weight. But I'm feeling that I'm losing weight, and I'm feeling that my weight now is getting distributed probably, in all parts of your body. And I feel more motivated and more active to do things.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely it's been a change. And I hope that everything keeps improving. So
Yeah, absolutely. Because a lot of people come to me and they're obsessed with the number on the scale, and that number needs to go down. Whereas actually, for a lot of people, it's more about your body composition and reducing your body fat. And for those that are worried about belly fat, reducing your visceral fat, the fat that's around your organs and your belly, that's what's going to make your belly big. So actually, not looking at the number on the scale, but focusing on how your clothes fit, how you feel about your own body, how you feel when you look in the mirror. Do you like what you see? To me, that to have a client say that they feel better about their body is worth 100 times somebody said, "Oh, I lost 2 pounds today or last week." It's like, yeah, it doesn't really matter that much. It's how you feel about
yes,
yourself.
yeah, that's true. I mean, because obviously, you have a mirror all the time, you check yourself, and definitely there are gonna be days like you say, "Oh my gosh, what's happening here?" But there's someone that says, "Oh wow, look at this," and it feels good, definitely. But it wasn't my goal. And when I start noticing that my clothes start fitting again, I said, "Wow, do I lose weight? I look like I lose weight, but I go to the scale and maybe I'm the same weight, but it's just the body composition and the distribution is changed." because I'm start moving, because I have better eating habits, all that is comes together. So yeah, definitely I'm happy with the results I'm seeing now so far. And I hope that, I can keep moving in that direction. But as I said to you, my main concern was to find a um, good way of eating food and do not have any problems. And that's what I found here. That's what happened with all the work that we do. I'm able to eat, I'm able to, I'm happy to make my meals. I like to discover the flavors of everything again. I think when I was in this restricted diet, it's like I clean my palate and now I'm able to taste everything, and it feels good. And I like, and I'm grateful that I have the chance and the opportunity to, make my own meals and work on that. Um, but yeah, definitely, I am 100% better. And I'm just, want to thank you again for working with me on this, because this is amazing. After many, many years that I've been, dealing with this problem and thinking that maybe it's something that I have to deal with the rest of my life, right? But I get to the point that I was, okay, this is enough. I cannot. I have to do something about it. But why?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's always a pleasure speaking to you and working out what your next steps are going to be. So what would you say to somebody that was thinking about working with me, but they weren't really sure? I mean, who is this Paul guy anyway? So what would you say to them?
I think just take a chance on it. Just give yourself a chance to learn what you need to learn, even though we feel sometimes that we know everything, or we feel that we read this thing here or we heard this thing there. Just take a chance to try something different. And if try something different means to, start working with Paul and your nutrition journey, give it a try. And you'll see that it's going to be something that may be working for you at some point. Because I think the only thing that you have to lose is that you just try one more thing. If it didn't work out, it didn't work out. But the dedication, the time, the approach is totally different that you might seen so far. I can tell you that because that was my experience. So take a chance and give it a try and see how that goes.
Brilliant. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
My
You're a star.
pleasure. Thank you.